Hello, folks. Welcome back to GingerLion's Agrarian Skies Let's Play. This is episode number 38. Last time I did some work with bees, and I'm going to do a lot of that again today. Then after that, I'll move on to something else for a little while. But first, I want to show you the status of a couple of things. First, I have 10 more quadruple compressed dirt already in hand, and you'll notice my dirt is ticking down rapidly. That's because I just requested 10 more. It's not actually going to be able to make 10 more, but I'll get 8 or so. Also, remember all of those cobble generators we put in? Well, at the moment I have 4 septuple compressed cobblestone. If we go over here and look, these 2 are getting cobblestone fast enough that they're almost constantly piping into here, fast enough that this is regularly ticking over. So they are doing their job. They are making a lot of cobblestone, and they've been running for several hours, but they're nowhere near ready yet. So let me grab this dirt, and my crafting hung up again. Amusing. There we are. Much better. Now, let me go ahead and go to that quest, which is in for the hoarding. This is completely done. Nice. So, dirt, dirt. Manual submit. We're up to 35%. That's not bad. We'll get a little closer in a minute. Let's also claim the soul sound. That's just dumping 10,000 soul sand, and given that I have a pretty hefty quarry still going like crazy in the nether, this works just fine. Let's go ahead and claim that reward. Full heart. Reward bag. 16 gas tiers. Nothing particularly interesting to me there. So, let me just see where we are with the dirt. Oh, we're hung up. Yep. We're probably out of dirt. No, we weren't. There we are. Crafting again. Dirt's now under 1,000. I did use up quite a lot of dirt 2 episodes back when I covered my entire landscape in it, but I consider it well worth it. So, now we're up to 37%. Not bad. Let's see, is there anything else that's particularly easy to get our hands on? How am I doing with making glass? I now have 2,000 clear glass, and I'm going to need 10,000 clear glass for submit. So, not so great. But, what's my sand situation? I have 21,000. So, I'm going to repurpose a couple of furnaces that are barely in use for the moment, because I'm not making much ME stuff. So, let's see. This is cooking logs into charcoal. I'm fine with my current charcoal situation, thanks. This is making toast. I'm pretty okay with my toast situation at the moment. This is making yellorium. That's important. This is making diamond processors. I've got enough for now. Next time I run out, I'll be sad I did this, but I'll also be glad that this quest is completely over with. That is making sand into glass. It's just set on the wrong number. So, there. Now it wants to make 11,000 glass. This is cactus green. I've got more than enough cactus green. Thanks. And this is the continually running pair that's working on rubber. So I am going to set all of these that I just cleared to stacks of sand. And I'm going to set all of these to glass and 11,000. That one we don't touch. There. What's... And sawmill. Good. So that should get this collection of furnaces kicking over. And what do I have for gravel? I am going to go take all the gravel I've got in my inventory right now, which isn't a huge amount, but I'm going to toss it in these pulverizers over here, like so. And now they will pulverize that into sand, which will increase the amount of sand I have, which will in turn increase the amount of sand that I am turning into glass there. This system over here is full of molten glass, and it's pulling it out as fast as one of these can. I think, given that that's the problem, that it's completely full of molten glass, and it's not exiting fast enough, that I'll come back in a little while, and actually, why don't I just do it right now? Where's my pick? There it is. That's just fine the way it is. I would like a casting basin. And for the moment, I'm going to toss this back in. And doesn't take long to do this. Blacklisting molten aluminum. That seems just fine to me. And let me just make sure that it empties when it turns into clear glass. Yep, it does. Okay, so now I've just doubled the output rate of glass, which will hopefully double the rate of creating clear glass. There. A couple of items done that don't particularly relate to bees. Call it housekeeping. So, where are we at with bees and trees? With bees and trees, I have finished industrial upgrades, and let me just show you what these are about. This upgrade we've already been using. It automatically puts bees back into the industrial apiaries, keeps them running automatically. This makes the bees, I don't know if it actually makes them live longer or shorter. The tooltip is kind of confusing. This production upgrade we are now capable of making. This allows the bees to produce a lot more of whatever it is that they produce. Heater, dryer, desert emulation. Desert emulation actually brought up an idea for me, which has paid pretty good dividends since then. And let me show you what it is. Instead of having individual heater and, cooler and... Yeah, I should put a light in here. That's a good idea. But anyway, instead of putting in two here to cool it down and dry it out, I'm just putting a plains emulation upgrade. Allows those to work perfectly. And that has left me room to pump 8 production upgrades into this, and to put 8 flowering upgrades in each of these. And That way, I'm getting a lot more flowers set up out here. And for some reason, this still isn't removing that flower. So perhaps I have it all set up wrong and will need to move it. I thought this should work real well, and I could be wrong. So anyway, let's move forward and hand that quest in, claiming our reward. That gets us a modest drone and a modest princess, which I can go ahead and add to my collection. Like I said, I now have 3 of these chests. Looks like page 5 has some room. That are very full of bees. Most of these bees aren't going to matter to me, and at some point I'm going to turn them into liquid DNA, but not till a quest asks me to. Now, we move on to tree breeding. So, we have the Mutatron. We can make the Industrial Grafter and Spectacles. That'll be pretty easy, I think. Yeah. This, I gotta make it a regular grafter. If you haven't worked with a grafter before, the grafter allows you to break leaf blocks very easily. But it wears out very quickly. The industrial grafter uses power instead. You just charge it up in your energetic infuser, and then it breaks leaf blocks really fast. And that's a really good thing if you're working on this, which I guess we're about to. Now, let's make spectacles. There we are. And now, what the spectacles are for. It probably isn't going to do anything right now, so I only have 1 tree near these bees, but I'll check. What the spectacles do is they allow you to see any spot that has produced a crossbreed. Doesn't look like I have any. No, that's not it. But if I put another type of tree near here, it's very possible that it will crossbreed with that, which is probably what we're going to be doing very soon. Now, I need a sieve upgrade and a Mutatron. No, a alveary sieve. Okay, so this we're going to need silk wisps for. Silk wisps are going to come from silky propolises, which are going to come from silky combs, which are going to come from tropical or exotic. Or it's our highest production rate. Leporine so far. So, yeah, it looks like if I want... Leporine are going to produce eggs and combs, or exotics. So let's see if I have any exotics. I wish these were easier to search in any significant way. So I'm going to step off camera, and I'll be right back once I've looked through this. Okay, so I've got myself the closest I'm going to get in my inventory. So we're trying to make ourselves exotics. Exotic princesses, exotic drone. That means we need tropical, which is a hive bee I have lots of, with austere. We don't have austere, so we need modest and frugal. Well, I've got modest, but we don't have frugal. So, let's step down, and this is modest and fiendish, or modest and sinister. Fiendish is made from sinister, so... how do we make sinister? This is what we have to do to combine with our modest. Well, cultivated with modest or cultivated with tropical. Either way works for me. I have plenty of cultivated and a whole bunch of modest. There's lots more modest queens, princesses, available for me. This is what I've got in terms of spare cultivated. So, I'm going to come over here and say... I have lots of princesses of this type and lots of drones of this type. And there's our sinister. Now, one thing that's important to know. When you're dealing with sinister bees, and plenty of the types of bees, they can hurt you. And so, my solution to that, and I admit it slows me down, but I'm going to put on my apiarist suit. Which makes me want another armor stand. And I am so used to being able to walk up hills that I was doing this. So, let me go make myself an armor stand so that I can set this up as well. And a torch. A redstone torch, to be specific. Okay, so this is going to live in my bee area. So let's put it right there with this redstone torch next to it, and we'll put that entire suit on it. Put our equipment back on and swap. There. That makes it easy for me to swap back and forth to my armor when I need it, and it'll make sure that I don't get hurt by these sinister bees. So, once again, we need to stabilize the line of sinister bees, but we don't know what the statuses are of these bees, because I haven't made, well, I have made, but I have not brought out a pretty key ingredient. I made this for an earlier quest, and the reason that I didn't use it at any point there is I didn't have a lot of honey drops. Well, now I do, because I'm piping all the combs that I get. Notice there are none in my system. I'm piping them all into a centrifuge to get the items that I want out of them. So, let's go ahead and open up this interface, the Beealyzer, and toss our honey drops in here, and check out our Sinister Queen. So this is a Sinister. Its effect is aggressive. It flowers in the nether, and its lifespan is normal, and it only accepts hellish, arid. It is nocturnal and diurnal, which means it'll travel in both the night and the day. So, let me just see if this is a hand-in quest real quick. No, it is not. I just have to have made these things. Good. So I'll get them out of my inventory for the moment. I don't need that. And okay, so I'm going to grab a industrial apiary. I'm not going to set it up for automatic, but what I am going to do is make myself I don't see it on there. It's probably, no. There we are. The Hell Emulation Upgrade. Let's see how much of this stuff that I have. Not a lot. So let's go ahead and make a climate control module. An upgrade frame. And an environmental processor. There we go. Now, this, in one shot, allows us to place these bees down and have them do exactly what I want them to do, despite them not being in a biome even remotely like what they need, theoretically, to survive. So, go ahead and toss the Sinister Queen in there. Oh, it's not going to... Is it working? No error. It's working, theoretically. I haven't seen this move at all. So, I don't have proof of it. It's possible that I will need to go into the nether. And no, I see bees coming out of it. That's what I needed to see. So, the rest of these guys are not producing because it's nighttime. Now, let me... No flowers. So, what flowers did these guys need? I almost guarantee that it's netherwort. Just about the only flower native to the nether. So, let's grab some netherwort. And I can never remember if this will live on netherrack or soul sand. But I've got both easily available. So, since this is a temporary installation, I'm not going to bother burying it in the ground. Soul sand's just fine. So, now these bees should be back to being perfectly happy. And I'm going to produce some lifespan upgrades and see which direction that moves the pendulum. So, you'll notice that it says lifespan negative 33%. I think that means it will make them die faster. So, I'll just produce a bunch of these, and while I'm at it, let's take a quarter of a stack of these and convert them into nuggets so that I have them available perennially, as it were. And I'm going to make lots of upgrades over time, so that makes sense. And glass. How many can I install? 4. And I have one more already. So, there's the maximum I can possibly produce, or install in one alveary. And let's see if that's at 10%. Let's see what it produces on the next tick. So, I really wish, you know what? It's probably worth it to me to take this. It's not like it's costing me a lot to do this. 23%. So it was 13% more on that tick. That's fine. So, I'm going to grab soul sand and netherwort and my warp book and pop to the nether quarry and something blew up. If you'll notice all the dots on the map over there, that's an indication that my quarry has run into a nest of hellfish at some point here. It's 1.7% done on its mining. I obviously produced an extraordinarily large mining area. That was my intention, so that I didn't have to pick this up and move it sometime later. And let's go ahead and put this Sinister Queen in with the Oblivion frame. And on the next tick, it should pass away. Meanwhile, I only have this suit on, so I'm not going to do anything else at all. Hellish and Arid, exactly what this wants. And the line is at least theoretically stabilized. I have my princess and whatnot, and I'm just going to leave that apiary there. It's not real valuable for me to take with me. And it'll mean if I have any other bees that only survive in another environment, that I have a good way to handle them. Okay. Now, what is the next step along our path? Once again, we are making silky combs, which means that we are making exotic bees, which means that we are trying to make austere, means that we're trying to make frugal, which means we need fiendish and modest, or sinister and modest. Well, I've got sinister and modest now in enough that I'm not particularly concerned about wasting this one drone. If this produces waste, yeah, I want frugal. Good. There's a frugal queen. And let's go ahead and use the Beealizer to find out what she likes. She likes cactuses. She likes hot, and we'll take it hotter than that. She likes arid, and we'll take it hotter than that. Which means to me that I'm going to need to grab some sand and go to the nether. So I'll be right back once I've stabilized this line of bees. Okay, so now I've finished off that process with the frugal, and I have two frugal drones to spare, and now it's time to make austere, which is modest and frugal. Austere queen. Process on that. Prefers cacti. Effect creeper. It's going to be explosions. On hot and arid. So once again, oop, don't throw them on the ground. Take them to the nether. By the way, I had placed my apiary in a location where when I warped into the nether, I found myself inside it, which did quite a lot of damage, which was kind of an unpleasant process. So, we're going to let this tick over and you can't work in this biome, huh? Hot and down 2, arid and up 1, and cactus. Interesting. Okay. So, I'm in the wrong place. Home we go. And let's take a look and see what emulation upgrades are available. We have a desert emulation upgrade, which is going to give us hot and arid. So let's go ahead and make that. That'll make it a lot easier. How close am I? Not so close. Need another climate and another environment. There's that. And now I'd like a single block of sand and a single cactus. Now, I believe that the suit I am wearing will somewhat protect me against this process. And I can't put this desert emulation upgrade in here. My only option on this, no. Do I have a desert biome available to me? Let me check. I'll be right back once I figure out if there's a desert somewhere in this collection. So, lo and behold, this area of brownish-looking grass that extends all the way over there, and right off the end of this platform, and down that way, is all desert. So, a quick move over here, and I've run them through a second time just to make sure that I have enough drones. So put that line away so that I don't lose it. Austere Princess and associated drone right there. And now let's go back to jungle. No, it's our ultimate target being these silky combs. We want the exotic, which is tropical and austere. So let's grab ourselves a tropical. By the way, I did find a good way of searching this. you do the double click on the toolbar down below so that it highlights any items. So let's grab ourselves 2 of those just to make sure that it works like we want it to. And tropical, austere, exotic. I can take this off. And now I have an exotic queen. And finally, let's find out what her needs are, because she's going to be in a production hive for a period of time, not just passed through. So, she has a poison effect, good to know. She needs jungle flowers, which is otherwise known as vines. And she wants a warm or better and damp or down biome, which is interesting because I happen to actually be in a jungle biome. So, let's make sure this is also in a jungle biome. Yep. So, this hive is going to be absolutely perfect for this bee to live in. So, the exotic queen is going to go right there. And now, I want myself an automation upgrade and 8 production upgrades, and that will hopefully get us our silk at a reasonable rate. Automation upgrade. Desert and hell can go up here. I want production upgrades. I need a bunch more. And I'm not sure if she was a nighttime flyer or not, but we're going to find out. Almost, but not quite. I need some sugar. Now, that's sugar cane. Let's just tell it to craft a bunch of sugar. Clearly that hung up for a moment, but automation and light. We'll see if she needs light. Pull her out. Once again, use the Beealizer. She's not nocturnal, nor a flyer, so I'm going to want the range shield, which I think I may be capable of making now. Light upgrade, automation upgrade, and back to work. So, I'm going to, obviously, I've set her to do some work. I'm going to set that this way, but I'm not actually going to activate it yet, and we're going to wait and see what we get out of production from this bee. Oh, no flowers, of course. Of course it's not going to work if I don't put some cactus nearby, but I think I can just move this cactus to, say, halfway in between these. Let's see if that works. Take just a moment, and I'll take these bees and drop them off over here. Let's see. Modest. Nope. Cultivated. Tropical. And here, austere, frugal, good. There, all my bees are together in a reasonable place. Still, 9 by 6 by 9. What is going on wrong here? Oh, she doesn't need that. She needs vines. Luckily, well, I could grab some shears and go up there. But no, I only have thorn vines. So, shears it is. And because I feel awfully slow in this armor, I'm just going to do it with flight. This potion is a wonderful thing to have and to have crafted. Do either of these have a lot of hanging? Nope. So, let's start with... That should be enough. Let's see if that was good enough. Production, 430%. Flowering chance, 5. Lifespan, 50. Let me go and take a look at one of these that has the 8. Doesn't actually tell me the rest of the information, because everything's working like it's supposed to. So, if I pull the planes out, it's going to tell me that... Nope. No luck. No flowers. That must be outside of range. So... Okay. I'll do it this way. I know that it'll grow on lots of other things than oak, and that I don't have to put oak down, but I'm going to anyway. So 1 oak block. One leaf on top. And did I destroy all those vines? Did. And I mangled that tree a bit. So, how about I repair its looks a little bit. Plant some more vines nearby. There. That should solve that problem. Or does it need cocoa beans? Let's find out. Nope, that solved that problem, and we're already getting silky combs. Good. So, I'll be back once we have enough silky comb to make the last 2 items and finish this quest off, and then that'll be a wrap for the episode. I'll be right back, folks. Okay, folks, so now I have enough silk to head down to the carpenter. Now, the uses of silk wisps. We can make the sieve upgrade, which we're going to need very soon. We could make string, but that seems like an awfully wasteful way of making string. And with water, we can make woven silk. And woven silk, let's go back to that. Woven silk is used in making the apiarist suit, which I already have, and the alveary sieve, which we need for this quest. So, 1 carpenter, full of water, 1 recipe, and enough silk wisps to make 3 of them. It's a very quick process. There's the 3 that we need, and let's remove this recipe just so that if we do anything here. By the way, I also wanted to note that I have set up this export bus. I set it fuzzy. It's a fuzzy export bus with match any, and then put a comb and a propolis. And basically what that means is this is going ahead and pushing any combs that I get and any propolises that I get right into there to be sieved. To be centrifuged, which is how I got the silk. So, let's make ourselves the sieve upgrade. What this does is it allows us to get pollen out of the industrial apiaries. In other words, we set up the industrial apiary, we set this in it, and we put a tree nearby, and we're likely to get the pollen of that tree type, which allows us to genetically manipulate the trees. And then... and I don't think I have any alveary blocks at all in there. So, let's head back upstairs. Wrong one. I have put back on my speedy armor because, well, I'm not so worried about being poisoned right now. I'm much more worried about moving slowly. There. We have alveoli blocks. I got these as a reward. If you don't get them as a reward, the recipe for them... nope. Sorts it every time, doesn't it? The recipe for them is scented paneling and an impregnated casing. Scented paneling is wood, royal jelly, some pollen, and some beeswax, along with some honey in a carpenter. The beeswax comes from centrifuging, which we've been doing. Almost any of the combs potentially produce some. The pollen, the industrious and jaded bees will produce it, so we would have to breed an industrious, which I think we already have going. And then the impregnated casing is wood in with seed oil. So that's makeable. I don't see a need with the industrial apiaries, but it is a standard part of the bee making process. So let's go ahead and toss this block in and request this, and that block that I just had right here. There's the alveoli sieve and the sieve upgrade. There is the necessaries for our quest. Blue mahow, plum, and lime. Well, let me check something. At our next step, we need essence of a shallow grave, energetic comb. Let's check the essence of a shallow grave. This is made with soulful wax, which is made from spirit bees. If I recall correctly, there is a quest somewhere, whether it's for the hoarding, perhaps? Purple Madness. We need amaranth planks. And I think I have an amaranth sapling. I have a whole bunch of amaranth saplings. I have no idea which one of these would be the best for me to get. Let me open this reward bag while I'm at it. Magnesium dust. So, I'm unsure what I'm going to need to make. So, what I'm going to do is just pick one. I'm getting banana and hill cherry. And I think blue mahow is cool. But you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and take the reward bag. I'm sure it won't be anywhere near as satisfying as having skipped that step, but a boat with feather falling 3 and some blood runes. I was right, not particularly satisfying, but that gets these completed. I'm going to get the necessary things out of my inventory. "91 lives, and that's a wrap, folks. I hope you've enjoyed the episode. I look forward to seeing you next time. Have a good one.